Hey, yo, Mo, I'm fucking with this.
Peace. This is your boy Juice Wonder with another episode of Smoke and Jokes, where we discuss today's topics while indulging in the greatest of herbal essences. And today's show is brought to you by Gelato. Yes, Gelato, the heavy hitter. Okay, this is Smoke and Jokes, but on this we have another little segment where I deal with politics as usual. And the biggest politics that's inside our hood, whether you know it or not, is Freemasonry. These are always controlling how we move. These are the people who's making sure we don't get upset at certain things and pushing the buttons for us to get upset about others. You got to understand how this works. And so on my last episode, I was telling you how I became introduced to Freemasonry. And inside of that, before I can even continue, I would have to explain to you what Freemasonry is. So I'm going to look over to a thing where it's called chicanery. Now, chicanery is an action, just like Freemasonry. Freemasonry is an action that is done by Freemasons. Okay. And chicanery is clever, dishonest talk or behavior that is used to deceive people. It says the investigation revealed political chicanery and corruption at the highest levels. It is synonymous with quarrel or trickery. So now that we looked at chicanery and we understand that chicanery is a clever, dishonest talk or behavior, that one is used to deceive. Once you understand that, then when I go back and I said the part about the young man asking me what was now cipher, wasn't that a way of talking for them to understand each other and for me and my people not to, right? And you would go, yeah, but so what? They got Pig Latin and all. Yeah, all of these things are greatly associated, trust. But you have secret societies, granted. And that doesn't mean just because you are a secret society that you are a Freemason. It just so happens that Freemasonry is the largest secret society out there. And most of the time is borning, a lot of sub cultures within Freemasonry. And we'll get into that part too. Okay. So now, in order for you to understand Freemasonry and understand that what chicanery is, right? Chicanery is a clever way of having conflicts to control the people. So if you, it's like, I'm gonna give you an example. Imagine, you got one of them guys who sells snake oil, right? They coming into town, but mind you, there's a group that's already there, people that's gonna help him on his endeavors because he's gonna help them on his. They're gonna work together, whether y'all know it or not. Whether you know that this stranger who just came into town with the snake oils and Dr. Johnson, the guy that you've always known, and Mr. Rogers, the guy you always knew, you didn't know that they all were in on this together because they have an agenda. And as long as each one promotes each one's agenda, it's like, we're going to work with each other. We're going to work with each other, even though we're doing different things. That's the best way because we're not connected. If we was all doing, say we was all doctors, it would be hard for us to convince you. But if we got a doctor, an actor, and a shoe salesman, oh, sure, this could work because it's attacking many different avenues, and that's how Freemasonry works. Now, I'm going to show you in time right now. Actually, I'm going to show you the connection in the two. You understand what I'm saying? And what makes them all on the same path. Okay. So now when we go up here, okay, I'm going to introduce you to a book. Now, you can go online and actually find this book in PDF. Back in the days, there was none of that. So I actually had to purchase this book, and it cost me like somewhere like $80-$90 for this book back in the days. And I always have it on my Facebook page, and that people probably, because I never denied anybody the opportunity to get this information. Now, the thing is, I'm allowed now to do it this way and just leave it there, and whoever wants it can grab it or pass it on or whatever. Whereas before, you just you give it to certain people, they don't really care. It's not because it's nothing for them to grab onto, and it takes so much to give the truth, whereas it takes very little to give a lie because the lie was out there and circulating for so long. So, and this book is called The Master's Carpet, or Freemasonry and Baal Worship Identical. Right? That's what it's really saying. It's saying the Master's Carpet. Right? And Freemasonry and Baal identical. So you got to, you take the time to look that in and see what that means. But here's the trick. It goes reviewing the similarities between Freemasonry, Romanism, and the mysteries, and the comparing the whole with the Bible. Right? And so inside of there, you'll go, well, okay, I don't really get it yet. It's not comparing. It's showing you how you can take these things and make them one. You can take a group of things and how, with association of these things, you can make something. And as long as you can take truths, the lie can stand, because behind every lie is great truth. That the greatest liars are not the ones you go like this. Oh, look at him, he's always lying. He's not a good liar. And so you so used to looking at those type of liars that you think that, oh, you understand lying. No, that's somebody who just don't know what the fuck he is. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I can't call it lying. But lying is based on the truth. Inside of the truth, you place a lie. You don't just lie and just make up shit like, oh, I was watching Aliens and shit like that, and on my way home, you know what I mean? Because nobody's gonna fucking understand it. It takes time. You got to put that information out there with 1,000 people. You understand what I'm saying? For it to start circulating. But in the original, everybody gonna know you full of shit. Shut the fuck up. Whip your ass. You came home late. That's it. So you gotta, in order to lie, to truly lie, you need a truth, and you need the lie to fester within the truth. Is the parasite. See, the lie will be a parasite, and it'll eat it away. It'll eat at the truth to where you don't know the truth from the lie anymore. And that's what this is. So they taking all of these things, it's taking the similarities between Freemasonry, Romanism, and the mysteries, and then comparing the whole with the Bible. So it's taking all of this information over here, and then it's comparing it to the Bible, and you thinking, okay, yeah, but that's just conversation. No, what it is crafting something. So when you go out there and you're looking for initiates, this is how you pull them in, because you're showing these things over here, and look, they're similar. Because the key to Freemasonry is, if you know, is in order to become a Freemason, the first thing they're going to ask is what? There's one question that can deny you entry into Freemasonry, and that is, do you believe in God? If you say no, you cannot be a Freemason, because then this wouldn't work. How could we initiate you into something that you automatically know, whereas in this society is a secret that you didn't know that you was a participant? So you got to go out there and do all of the initiating and this, that, and the third before you realize that you was a part of it, for you to climb up the ranks now and learn how to use this. Some people never make it to a Master Mason. And that's what they tell you. They say most people never make it to a Master Mason because they don't know that they were Masons. And they don't know this part right here. So I'm going to go down, and it says, now mind you, the author is Edmund Runyon, right? He's a past master of Keystone Lodge 639 in Chicago. Now, Chicago is a very important thing. You need to understand this. If you don't understand why there's so much chaos going on in Chicago, please understand this. You will learn in time that what this is. Okay. And the author of the handbook of Freemasonry. Now, he wrote a handbook on Freemasonry, right? He's a past master in a Keystone Lodge. The keys, look up Solomon Keys. Look up Solomon Keys and you will understand why, the Keystone Lodge. Okay. So, and it says fully illustrated, right? It says, prove all things hold fast that wish to know. Okay. I'm sorry. This shit is all blurry. It goes, proves all things hold fast and which is good. And then they quote the Bible, right? They took all of this stuff up here, reviewing the similarities, all of this stuff, the mysteries and all of that. And then what? Comparing it to the Bible. And so what is the first thing he does? He attaches Bible verses to it, because he has to bring in those with that understanding, because they're confused. They're in a daze. So they're trying to figure out, what makes sense. And here goes the predators. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm gonna scroll down. Show you, this is the guy right here. This is who wrote it. See his symbols, right? He got his symbols on. Pay attention to all of this. Like I said, you could go online and look this book up. It's in PDF form. So it's not like you're going to have to pay what I paid. All you got to do is just type in the Master's Carpet PDF and look at the book yourself. Okay. You notice the hand where it's pointing, and believe it or not, this right here is a very Masonic pose. Because like I told you, Masonry is not about what you hear. That's the distraction. What you see is the players. And if you know the players, then you understand the game that's being played. You understand what they say? Believe half of what you hear, and some shit I forgot. It says believe none of what you hear, or believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, whatever the fuck. I just know that don't pay too much attention to what a lot of these dudes is pumping out their mouth, because they're going to be repeating the same jargon. And you're going to notice that once I get to this part right here. Now, this is all of it. Now, this is a very deep book, so there's a lot of parts to it. And I advise you, if you really want to learn, and from what I'm saying in this book and many others, because I can pull up many books, and you'll notice that it's the same trend. And then once you notice the same trend in the writings, then you'll know how and what to look for in the verbal, what people are trying to hit you with in the head. You understand what I'm saying? So in the prefix, in all the most popular manuals of Freemasonry and in its standard works in the highest authority and the merits thereof, full well authenticated claims to set up on behalf of that institution as follows. Now understand what is being said. It says claims, right? Now these claims is what sets the tone for Freemasonry. Like I told you, Freemasonry is about lies. It's the words. So if you can take a truth and put a lie within it, that's Freemasonry. Once you can do that part, now mind you, it has to be in religious terms though. It can't just be anything. It has to be religiously. And I'm going to show you this, that all of these organizations that do it within religion, I don't care if it's, what's my man, what's this white guy? Ain't not my man, but, what's the white guy with the SWAT sticker on his head and shit? From California, he had the women running around killing people. Or whatever, man. Who the fuck is his name? It don't even matter. That shows you how much I even give a fuck about these people. Well, anyway, if you look at him, you know, you could see that even in that it was religion. He was, you know, feeding it through religion, because that's where people are in this trance. Most of the time, your parents have done beat you in the head so much, you have no true understanding. So once somebody comes along and beats you in the head, shit, you in it. You like, oh shit, yeah, that's what it must be. You understand what I'm saying? That's the way you perceive it now, because that's the way you took it. So the second thing would be that it was revived and is present and presented outward forth in 1717. Now, like I said, now if you already associating yourself with, you know, the past by religion or whatever it is, of course you're gonna that's allowing you to automatically put yourself in the past as well. You're gonna associate yourself and put yourself within these structures already. That's the key, to put yourself inside the structures. And the masters are the ones who can do that. Those are the master masons. The regular masons, the workers, we are the workers. We don't know it. We don't know that we indoctrinated and that we're doing this. You see what I'm saying? That's what they mean by having you in a trance, and we'll run around and even promote that, not knowing that that's all a part of it. Okay. Then it goes, the third would be that all its ceremonies, symbols, and the celebrated legend of Hiram and the Master Mason degree were directly borrowed from the ancient mysteries or the secret worship of Baal, Osiris, or Tammuz, right? Now, these are all in the past. These are all religious figures, things that you can see, things that you would want to gravitate to. Whether it's historically associated, which is most of the time an association of oneself, right? Whether it's the blacks and, you know, with Osiris, which they are, mind you, they already set up. They already set up the lie, so they automatically set up the people to put in it, and automatically set up to deceive you. Automatically, right? And Tammuz. So when you look at these things right here, when you look at these things, you thinking that, oh, nah, yo, we found that. No, man, you're finding out half truths and designed to push you into a direction. And if you'll notice one thing with inside that group, it's never for you to advance. It's always for you to stay within the compounds of that next mission. You're not really advancing because they're keeping you distracted, especially in our community. All of the black Freemason groups, outside of those in the colleges, the Greek fraternities and those type of black organizations that are Freemasons. I'm talking about the destructive side, because Freemasonry is a double-edged sword. It's a serpent with two heads. So either we gonna fuck you up over here, or you gonna get in line over here. And that's what they mean, out of chaos comes peace, because they can destroy a lot, send a lot of people to their dooms, and don't have to take any weight because it was already set up through these elaborate lies. Okay. And then it goes the fourth, that a strict obedience, I already did that. Okay, so let me read this right here. It goes, the design of this work then is to now this is the author discussing his book. Right now he laid down the groundwork of how this is done. Now he's telling you him, right? The design of this book then is to discuss these claims in a clear, simple, and intelligible manner, and to demonstrate beyond the possibility of dispute or doubt on the part of any Freemason that the Masonic system as it exists today is precisely the same religious philosophies and the same form of secret worship that used to be taught and practiced in honor of the God of nature and the old temple of paganism. Now, do you understand that they're associating themselves with the Bible, right? They're associating themselves with the past, and then in order to pull you away from that, he's gonna show you how to do this, how to get somebody from one belief system and pull them over to another. Because like I said, these are layers. Now, once you understand the layers and how the layers work, then you can reveal what the plan is. You don't know the plan until you know the layers, the people, and all of that. So first you got to know how it works, right? Okay. All the proof adduced to establish these facts are designedly drawn from the testimony of Freemasonry itself and are so arranged as to be recognized at a glance and must be found of great value for immediate reference in all possible discussions on this important subject. See what I mean? Freemasonry is not something that's being said. You could see it. If for those who see it are those who can become master masons. Yeah, many people that go into lodges say, now once you go into the lodge, you are learning it. Before then, you was just a worker. You was at the bottom. You was just a tool until you decided to no longer be a tool. You understand what I'm saying? Go find out what it is, right? And so then that way you can learn how to make others your tool. So then let's see right here. Where it goes, itself, boom. Okay. The work is also profusely illustrated. The interior of the lodge, the position of its various offices, the ceremonies through which the candidate is made to pass, and the emblems and symbols of its different degrees, being accurately represented by wood engravings specially prepared for this exposition and passed upon by some of the former members of the order, while the legend of Osiris and the Egyptian mysteries and the celebrated legend of Hiram and the Masonic mysteries are prepared with such minuteness of detail that none could fail to know their absolute identity. Now, again, if you don't understand what's being said, because I could be talking, but I'm talking to a certain group, and that group understands how to use what's being said just in case somebody else happens to, come upon this. So if they reading it, they thinking, okay, yeah, this is, whatever, but it's actually a manual on how to perform Freemasonry. You know what I'm saying? This constitutes the real secrets of a master mason and was never before alluded to by any, nor in any exposition of its pretended mysteries. Do you understand that? This constitutes the real secrets of the master mason. When I'm saying constitutes the real secrets, I'm giving you what it really is, and was never before alluded to by any succeeded, nor in any expedition of its pretended mysteries. Meaning that every time they put that other stuff out there, it was never really it. This is it. This is how it works. And what we put out there is different from what we teach each other. And I'm saying we as far as them, not we as far as me. You know what I mean? Because I'm teaching you how to do it. I don't really give a fuck. Okay. The mistakable coincidences between Masonry and Romanism is also set forth, and it is demonstrated with positive certainty that both systems have sprung from the same pagan source. So when they indoctrinate in this, right, this is how they go into it. This is their realms. So when you look up those ranks and you see the things, this is their realm. This is how they're attacking their people, right? And you'll understand that later. Okay. Pagan source. The one being the old pagan beast of Revelation, and the other the image of the beast. Although I have been a member of the fraternity for a number of years, though I have been exalted to the highest officer among my brethren of the lodge, and have received the anonymous plutant of the Grand Lodge of Illinois in 1872, yet accepting God's word as rule of my faith and practice, I insist upon it that I have just as much right to succeed from the institution of Freemasonry and to cast off all allegiances to its extrajudicial and ironclad oaths and inhumane death penalties, and its anti-Christian and ideologist worship, as I had seceded from the ideologist worship of Rome just 30 years ago. Acting upon this principle, then, I claim that a father, although a Freemason, and in duty bound to warn my son against affiliation with the Masonic institution, and in doing so, to give him a full explanation of its principles and philosophies, and hence the conversation between Mr. Burton and Henry, that in this manner I may be the humble means of liberating some of my former brothers from the disposition of the lodge, as well as saving others from its wicked entanglements, that through the instrumentality of this book, the pure spirituality, heartfelt worship of God through Christianity, may be better appreciated, and the Redeemer and the Redeemer's name be glorified and exalted, is the sincere and earnest prayer of the author. Okay, and this is, and mind you, he's a past master of a keystone number 639 in Chicago. Two things that you need to pay attention, because I'm gonna get into the Chicago connection with all of this, right? And I'm gonna explain the keystone and how, in the last part of it, in which you see he says, you know, he tries to say how he wants to discuss with his son so he can keep him out of this. Have you ever noticed all Freemasons that tell you how, oh yeah, I used to be in it and it's not a good answer, but they never tell you what Freemasonry is, how it works, and how to spot it, at least to prevent somebody from getting in it. No, because they're Masons at that time, and this is their new hustle, to act like they breaking it down, but in actuality they're still performing it. You know, this is Smoking Jokes with your boy Juice Wanna. Now I'm gonna keep getting into this book and many others, and showing you what Freemasonry is while taking you through my journey of learning Freemasonry. Don't forget that like, that subscribe, and that notification so you can get new show content every time it is uploaded. Peace.